On the show, in Wheelspin, we drive the new Hyundai Santa Fe. In Auto Expo Special, we'll look at the showstoppers and the concept cars. And we present you the ET Zig Wheels Annual Awards. And in Going in Style, we bring you the action from the Park's Supercar Show in Mumbai.
It's a lovely day out here and my heart desires that I go somewhere in there. And the only thing that can take me there is a 4x4. Somebody just heard my wish and granted it too. Hyundai. They launched the Santa Fe and that too with a 4x4. My lucky day. Not too many people go off-roading in their spanking new SUVs, but having a 4x4 does come in handy. What I have with me today is the brand new Hyundai Santa Fe, the latest to join the SUV segment here. And if this car could speak, she would tell you something, that I am all new. And if you believe the company people, then they will also say the same. They tell me that not even one part has been carried over from the old one. And that might as well be true. Because she looks new, the interiors are completely new, the exteriors have a new design change, and the only thing that's getting carried over is what lies under the bonnet, the 2.2-litre CRDI engine.
The Santa Fe is actually new with a new body shape which includes a new set of HID headlamps with LED daylight running lights and a new fog lamp cluster. Front skid plates and the rear two sports skid plates with a tail light cluster with LED lights. And the twin chrome exhaust tips are now on one side of the car. Overall, the Santa Fe exudes style and the air of a car which is well made.
In terms of dimensions, you'll be hard put to spot the difference, but the fact is that the length has gone up by 30 mm and there is a wee bit of a change in the width. Other than that, it's identical, even the wheelbase and the track remain the same.
Hyundai had launched the Santa Fe in India in November 2010 as a 7-seater SUV, which would bridge the gap between a luxury SUV with an exorbitant price tag and a mini 5-seater SUV which had brand appeal, but were relatively small and cramped as compared to the Santa Fe. The positioning was right and initially the Santa Fe did evoke good customer response, but the car was imported as a CBU at that time with limitations on quick delivery. The long delivery time somewhat dampened the enthusiasm and eventually it faded out of the customer's mind. But now with a new and refreshed Santa Fe, the company would certainly hope to revive both demand and enthusiasm for the product.
This new Santa Fe is powered by a relatively small 2.2-litre common rail diesel unit. But I would say don't go by the size of the unit because this engine punches out about 197 brake horsepower, which is quite adequate for most driving situations. The low end is quite torquey and the mid-range is punchy and you don't feel any turbo lag, which makes it quite a fun to drive on the highways. The only thing I wish is that the engine were a little quieter because the moment you step on the gas, you can hear the decibel levels going up under the bonnet, but the insulation is quite good, so none of it is really intrusive.
According to ARI figures, the Santa Fe returns a decent fuel average of 14.7 kilometers to a litre for the manual transmission and 13 kilometers for the automatic. And incidentally, it is the auto transmission which churns out a higher torque of 436 Newton meters as well, making it quite drivable.
The Santa Fe is pretty much loaded with whatever you might need in a premium SUV. But my only complaint is that I wish the Hyundai guys had paid more attention to the drivability of the car and specifically the steering wheel. The steering wheel feels like bread left in water all night. It's soggy, it's lumpy and without any feel. Hyundai has provided a button here on the steering wheel to increase or reduce the steering effort. And I have put it on the sport mode. But around fast corners, it still gives me no feedback. Honestly, I feel that the steering has no wits around it and you really have to flog it hard to get it to action.
Where the Santa Fe can do with a definite improvement is in this area. We had expected a much sharper steering as well as the brakes, but both remain below expectations and this is what robs the car of its driving dynamics.
The suspension too has been worked on in this new Santa Fe and the results are quite obvious. Both the ride quality and the handling has improved. And what I like the most is that there is no pronounced body roll. And I can't say the same about some of the competition cars where you feel you have been tossed into a boat on choppy waters.
As we see it, the Santa Fe still remains a car where one would love to be driven in. But when it comes to taking a position behind the wheels, it loses out, in spite of the fact that it gives out both more power as well as torque than its main competitor and segment leader, the Toyota Fortuner. Because it's still not a sharp handler, the limp steering wheel and spongy brakes are its Achilles feet.
And that's a pity because otherwise the Santa Fe has most of what it takes to make a car fun to drive.
However, in terms of driver aids, it comes with a range of features. Features like advanced traction cornering control, which will prevent the car from losing its grip even on fast cornering. And it is equipped with 6 airbags.
Things inside the interiors too have changed, and I must say changed for the better. The dual tone fascia here looks quite good and the quality of switchgear and the plastics too have improved. And then there are additional features like touchscreen for the audio controls. The steering is nice and chunky with a set of multifunction buttons here, which makes it quite easy to call up for the information here. The instrumentation is large dial, easy to read and with chrome surrounds which make it quite attractive. Overall, these interiors have become quite a nice place to spend time in.
The Santa Fe, in true Hyundai tradition, is loaded to boot. If you are expecting bells and whistles, then you won't be disappointed. And in terms of design, it is pleasing too, with carryovers from Hyundai's fluidic sculpture design philosophy, which endows the interiors with a flowing design, and in terms of build quality too, there have been major improvements.
The rear seat of the new Santa Fe is quite spacious, lots of legroom, lots of headroom, rear AC vents, and then there are nice add-ons like this window curtain here. Actually, this is a 7-seater with 3 rows of seat here, 2 in the back. But what you can do if you're traveling less than 7 is to flip down this seat and turn this seat into a captain seat and travel in style.
But the spaciousness of the vehicle ends beyond the second row of seats. The third row offers hardly any leg space and is best left folded down, in which case it offers plenty of cargo space.
Like all product upgrades and next generation products, this Santa Fe here too has become a better Santa Fe. It has all the bells and whistles, all the features that you might need in a car this size and at this price. On top of it, it comes with a 4-wheel drive, it has automatic transmission and it is a 7-seater. All this is a very potent combination. Essentially, the Santa Fe still, in my opinion, remains a passenger's car, by which I mean you will enjoy the car more from the rear seat rather than from behind the wheel. If the Santa Fe had offered a more dynamic and a crisper drive, then I think it could have offered a package which would have been very hard to beat. But as things stand now, I think the competition would certainly have an edge. More so as the prices too have gone up.
Where the Santa Fe might lose out the most is in its pricing, which has substantially increased over the outgoing model, giving the edge to its competition. Starting at close to rupees 26 lakhs, it isn't cheap anymore. But the good part is that now even the two-wheel drive variant comes with an automatic transmission, and this should increase its appeal.
At the Auto Expo, there's another car that you definitely cannot afford to miss, and have a look at this and tell me what it is quickly. No, it's not a Aston Martin, it's not a Ferrari, but what it is a new concept car from Hyundai called the HMV9 on the Venice. It does look menacing, it does have that menacing looks, and no way if you look at this can you imagine that this is actually a product from Hyundai. It's so futuristic, so stylish, and the interesting thing about this is that this particular car is the fluidic interpretation taken on to a new level by Hyundai. Now, you know, they started this fluidic interpretation kind of thing, and they've taken this, extended into this beautiful rear-wheel drive, front-engine sports car. It's powered by a 3-liter turbocharged engine, and it has an automatic 8-speed transmission to put it on the road. How will she drive? We'll never know. How does she look? Fantastic.
What I have with me is a real beauty and a showstopper, the BMW i8. And believe it or not, this is going to be launched in India end of this year. This is a hybrid petrol-electric plug-in. But make no mistake, she is fast. The 0 to 100 comes up in 4.4 seconds with a top whack of 250 kilometers. And in terms of looks, she is a complete stunner.
On this Auto Expo 2014, a new BMW brand. It's the BMW i brand. And BMW i stands for future mobility and also for premium in the future. You know, premium is a high price, it's a high performance and so on. But we think premium is also sustainability. It's a combination in this car here of a BMW i8 of fuel engine and electric engine. It's a plug-in hybrid, but of the most modern state of the art. So we have here on the rear axle a 3-cylinder petrol engine, and on the front axle a 100% electrical engine. They both in the combination deliver 362 horsepower. And that means this car, because it's not very heavy, because it has a carbon fiber body, this has a performance like a super sports car. But on the other side, it has a fuel consumption like a really small car, just 2.5 liter on 100 kilometers.
Honda's Vision XS1 is a concept based on Honda's M&M philosophy, which basically means man maximum, machine minimum. This concept is a study which aims at making the maximum space available while keeping the size of the vehicle to a minimum. Now, in spite of the compact dimensions of the car, Honda has made space available for 7 people courtesy its 3-row seating configuration. The vehicle is based on a crossover platform with high ground clearance and chunky off-road styling, which seems to be all the rage in the Indian market. The Nissan Friendly features an aggressive sporty styling but is actually a 4-passenger sedan. The unique feature of this car is that all the passengers share the same information as the driver and have individual screens to tell them about what's going on. Any of the passengers can stream content from their mobile phones to the onboard screens and share it with the co-passengers, and hence the name Friend Me. The car is based on existing Nissan components and is powered by an efficient pure drive hybrid powertrain designed for the cities of tomorrow. Here's another concept car from Honda, the NSX, and this will definitely have auto enthusiasts drooling. The original NSX went out of production in 2005 and left an emptiness in Honda's supercar segment. But this new NSX promises to be even more exciting. The car will rely on a hybrid setup, which means that the primary power will come from a mid-mounted direct injected V6 engine augmented by 2 electric motors up front to create an all-wheel drive supercar. The NSX does look stunning, and we can hardly wait to see it as a production model, which our sources tell us could happen very, very soon. I'm looking into the future with the cars of tomorrow. That's right, the concept cars. Now, this wild, radical little thing that we've got here is called the Kwid, Renault Kwid. What it is, yes, it's obviously a concept car. As you can see, very futuristic styling, very modern design, and what I love about it is the off-road feel with the chunky tires and everything. So I don't know what these guys are trying to explore, a mini crossover or something, whatever. I love it. Now, the unique thing about this car is, apart from all the technical innovations that are there as a test bed in this particular car, they have something that they call the Flying Companion. Now, what is it? It's a remotely operated thing that's over here. You can see now this takes off from the rotating rear portion of the car, and this can be set on a predetermined flight path, or you could even control it manually via the touchscreen tablet that you see over here inside the car. Now, this particular thing allows you to, take it out and maybe scout the road ahead for obstacles or traffic jams, or even take pictures. So let me just try and give it a run. You guys have a look at what else is around. It was an exciting day for all those people who love their speed machines as the Park Supercar Show got underway in Mumbai. The concept of the show was simple enough. Line up all the cars which have been dubbed as supercars, and some of which are not but still fall into the hugely aspirational bracket of cars, and the result to be expected was electric. As the Lamborghinis rubbed shoulders with the Ferraris and the Maseratis, the crowd got a glimpse of what supercars are actually all about. Not only the brute power, but also the beauty and the glamour that goes with these cars. This year, the star attraction was the American muscle car Rebel, draped in its standalone yellow, which drew huge cheers from the crowd along with the regular motley of supercars. The event started in the morning near Nariman Point in South Mumbai, where the participants came with their cars and then drove out through Marine Drive and the Worli Sea Link to give Mumbaikars a glimpse of the beauty and power of these supercars. Around 75 cars participated this year, and this was the 6th edition of the Park Supercar event, which has now become an annual affair, and participants came from across India and as far as Cochin and Bangalore, and the event was greeted with huge enthusiasm from car-loving people of Mumbai. Now, if supercars is what you dream about, then this is your best chance to see not one but many at the same time in place and hear the rumble of the big engines as they come to life. So if you missed it this year, then hopefully next Jan you will get another chance to see it all.
We want it to be an annual event on the Mumbai calendar, and this is the 6th year. It's been very encouraging, and as you move forward, this becomes an annual event like the marathon. This time we had about 75 to 80 cars. I think it was a good show. We had a lot of cars. We came back to one of the older venues that we started from in South Bombay. A lot of enthusiasm, lots of people. The amount of people that we saw today was phenomenal. It's been a good show.